So we're John Mark and Holly Kellenbeck, and we started dating when we were 15 years old up in Michigan. And we got married when we were 22. We've lived down in Dallas for about the last 10 years.
I had received a degree in elementary education, but I had never been extremely career-minded. My dream was to eventually start a family, be a stay-at-home mom.
I have always wanted to have kids. I've known Holly since we were 15, and she's always just struck me as someone who would be such a great mom.
We had both been working full-time, but we knew the time was coming where we wanted to start a family. And a month or two goes by, nothing happens, no big deal. So about a year after we began trying, we went ahead and had a doctor's visit where they ran some tests. I was sitting at work on Monday and my phone rang and my doctor asked if I could please call her back. And basically we were told that we were more than likely never going to have our children of our own.
I had a plan, and it was to have kids and to watch them grow up, watch them go to school, play sports, be healthy, and that all came crashing down, with one phone call.
We had been attending Stonebriar at that point for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
And we had been a part of the Journey Adult Fellowship group. And all of a sudden you're in this place where you desperately need the body like you've never needed it before. And I remember hesitating to share with our class. Part of me felt like even though it was a really big deal to us, there were much bigger things going on in the world. But I realized that that's not how the body works. We were dealing with a real struggle and trial in our life. And God had provided and surrounded us with a body that could walk alongside that with us. 4 months later.
4 months later, we found out we were pregnant.
This was the miracle that we had prayed for. This was
incredible.
God answering prayers. I'm so excited to have this child, and how are we gonna tell our families, and is it gonna be a boy or a girl? We were thrilled. We were so thrilled.
And it wasn't too long after that, I had an overnight with work and landed very early in the morning in Chicago, and I called Holly because she was about to get up for work, and all she said on the phone was, "I think you need to come home."
We were about 7 or 8 weeks along, and I'd experienced some pains, and clearly I was losing the baby, and I will never forget going into my doctor and they're taking blood, and I'm just sobbing because this was our miracle that we prayed for, and it was gone. I remember sitting in our living room being really angry at the Lord and just feeling like He dangled something in front of me and just snapped it away.
Our community, the Journey, we had meals dropped off, we had prayer over us, and there was just an incredible sense of support that we felt from those around us. After that miscarriage, we now enter a period of wondering what God has for us next. And I remember one of our friends said, "Well, you're now being called to wait, so wait well." Complete surrender to God's plan doesn't happen overnight. About a year later, we feel like we arrived at a point where we were completely surrendered. We were open to God's plan, whatever that was.
We found out we were pregnant, and it was exactly a year later. Addison Grace Kellenbeck was born on November 20th, 2012. And we also, this last May, gave birth to another little girl named Lily Kate. Just another walking miracle to us of, science said one thing, God was way bigger than science.
Now, when other people experience loss that is similar to that, we are able to not only say, we grieve for you, but also on some level, we can understand what you're going through.
Just because you're waiting doesn't mean you're forgotten. I had to remind myself that a lot. God is an active God who is working, even if it doesn't feel like He is. So He knows what's going on. He hasn't forgotten you.